Welcome to Whisper Tales, where every whisper hides a nightmare. 99% of you guys are just watching but not subscribing. If you love spine-chilling horror stories that keep you up at night, then hit subscribe and join our dark journey, because the next tale might be about you. I moved to the city for a fresh start. Divorce, job loss, the works, you know the drill. I just wanted a quiet place to reset, think straight, and maybe rebuild a life that felt like it had been crumbling since the pandemic. Craigslist wasn't promising much, but then I saw an ad that looked off. 1 BR unit, affordable. Quiet neighborhood. Rent negotiable. Available nights only. Available nights only? What the hell did that mean? I called anyway. A woman answered after a single ring. She spoke softly, almost like a nurse reading you bad news. Hi, this is Clara. You're calling about the night unit? Yeah. What does that mean exactly? It's a special listing, she said. The apartment is only accessible from sundown to sunrise. You'll understand when you see it. But it's a regular apartment? Completely furnished. Quiet. Private. No neighbors on your floor. And no lease commitment if you don't like it. The rent was less than half the going rate for a one-bedroom in that part of town. I said I'd be there by 7. The building was in Midvale, kind of an in-between zone with crumbling infrastructure and new tech startups trying to gentrify it. The apartment complex looked normal enough: faded brick, rusty balconies, and a buzzing front door with half the nameplate letters scratched off. Clara met me in the lobby. She was short, pale, with hair so black it looked blue under the fluorescent lights. We didn't take the elevator. She insisted on the stairs. 5th floor, she said. Unit 5A. When we got to the top, I noticed something strange. There were no other doors. Just one, 5A, at the end of a hallway that should have had 4 or 5 units. The walls were freshly painted, and it smelled faintly of bleach. Where's the rest of the floor? I asked. She just smiled. It's all yours at night. That's part of the deal. She handed me a key. You can move in tonight if you want. That's when I should have left. I didn't have much, just a duffel bag, my laptop, and a box of personal stuff. I moved in that night. And just like she said, everything looked normal. Clean hardwood floors, beige walls, vintage but functional appliances. The windows faced the alley, but I could see a sliver of the skyline if I stood on my toes. I settled in, made a sandwich, took a long, hot shower. By midnight I was sitting on the couch flipping through channels. That's when the lights flickered. Just once. Then again. Then the TV went off by itself. I checked the switch. Nothing. Tried the remote. Dead. All the power was gone. I stepped into the hallway. And everything was gone. No walls. No stairs. Just blackness. I froze, gripping the doorknob like it was the only real thing left in the world. Then the hallway started breathing. Not loudly. Just a faint in and out, like a sleeping giant underneath the wallpaper. I went back inside. Slammed the door. Locked it 3 times. In the morning, I opened the door again, and the hallway was there. Normal. Lit. Dusty sunlight poured through a grimy skylight above the stairwell. But something was different. The wallpaper was green now. It had been blue the night before. And the floor tiles were a checkerboard pattern I swore hadn't been there. I chalked it up to stress. Lack of sleep. Maybe I dreamed the breathing. By the second night, the power cut again. Same time. Midnight on the dot. I heard footsteps this time. Bare feet, slapping softly against hardwood. But when I opened the door, the hallway was empty. No breathing. Just stretching. It looked longer than before. At least twice as long. The walls seemed to shiver as I watched. I slammed the door and sat with my back against it until sunrise. On the 3rd night, I started leaving notes for myself. The hallway changed again. Count the steps tomorrow. Check light switch color. It was white, now it's black. Remember, This apartment only exists at night. What does that mean? I woke up in the bathtub that night, fully clothed and soaking wet. The faucet wasn't running, and there was a whisper coming from the kitchen. Not words, just breath. Something was mimicking mine. I tried to leave on the 5th night, packed my stuff and waited until the sun rose. But when I opened the door, there was no hallway. There was nothing. Just static. Like the gray fuzz of a TV without a signal. I reached my hand into it, and it disappeared. The rest of my arm followed. I screamed and yanked it back. My skin was cold, like I dipped it in ice water, but otherwise fine. I tried to call Clara. Number disconnected. Tried the front desk. No one answered. No voicemail. I banged on the wall. Yelled for help out the window. But the city below was wrong. People walked like mannequins on a conveyor belt. Cars moved but made no sound. The skyline shimmered like heat waves. None of it was real. That night, I heard the shower turn on by itself. I opened the bathroom door slowly, and saw myself, standing under the water, smiling, lips pale, eyes unfocused. My mouth was moving, but no sound came out. I shut the door. It kept running. For hours. I started leaving the lights on, even though I knew they'd die by midnight. It gave me time to prepare. The apartment was mutating. Subtle things. Furniture changing position. Mirror no longer showing my reflection. The fridge once had a single note inside. You are becoming part of it. On the 10th night, I took a knife to the wall. Peeled back the drywall with my bare hands. Beneath it was skin. Warm. Pulsing. I stabbed it. The lights blew out. The walls screamed. I ran to the home, but this time, it was filled with doors. Thousands of them. All numbered 5A. Each one humming softly, vibrating, whispering. I picked one at random and walked through. Inside was another apartment. Identical. But it was daytime. And someone was sitting on the couch. It was me. But not me now. Me from 5 years ago. Younger. Happier. He looked at me and said, "Don't stay. Get out while you can." I backed out and slammed the door. Opened another. Me again, this time older. Beard. Tired. Eyes hollow. He didn't speak. He just raised his arm and showed me a number carved into his wrist. 1842. I tried dozens of doors. Saw hundreds of me. Dying. Aging. Screaming. Laughing manically. One me had no eyes. Another had 3. This place, this apartment, it wasn't real. It was a mirror maze of identities. And I had wandered too deep. I don't know how long I've been here. Time moves strangely. Some nights feel like weeks. I tried not sleeping. Then I woke up and the walls were padded, and the door was locked from the outside. I tried killing one of my doubles, didn't help. He just laughed as he bled out, whispering, "We all come back around. I think I've figured it out. The apartment doesn't exist in the real world. It's a trap, a liminal space between identities. Between possibilities. Every night it chooses a version of me. And every morning, one disappears. The version you're hearing from now? I might not be the original. But I'm the only one who's still trying to escape. If you ever see a listing for an apartment that's only available at night, don't go. Because once you enter, it remembers you. And it doesn't let go.